Dan Geltrude. Dan, I wore a good blue sport coat, a crisp white shirt, and I got the smartest guy I know on the A block. Let's go, my friend.
All right. Well, listen, when we talk about tariffs, what everybody was talking about was it's going to create inflation or more inflation. We haven't exactly seen that happen. So I think investors out there were really focused only on the near-term inflation and missed the deficit-cutting aspect of this. Now, look, when you're talking about cutting the deficits, there's two sides of this equation, Tommy. Mm-hmm. You got what's coming in and what's going out. Our problem is the spending, what's going out. So if we want to get serious about getting our national debt down, then we really have to talk about not just tariffs bringing in more money than perhaps we expected, but we need to be able to cut back on the spending as well.
Mm-hmm. You know, President Trump, at times of his career when he's not president, he's quick to be really hard on the current president about their spending too much. But now twice, 45 and 47, he's president. He spends just as much, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Is that the Republicans were supposed to be the ones who are fiscally responsible. But that's changed. And really, you have both sides spending like crazy. So this whole thing is not going to work because as more money comes in, if the spending continues, Tommy, you don't get anywhere. The real point here is what are the benefits of these tariffs? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the way Donald Trump is using tariffs, it's not just a trade tool. This is a fiscal weapon, and it's been very, very effective so far. So when Donald Trump began talking about how he's going to implement all these tariffs, I have to tell you, I was skeptical. I understood the reason why. I understood we were getting ripped off. But was this something that was really going to work? And what were going to be the consequences? As of now, we are not seeing a real downside because inflation has really leveled off.
Mm-hmm. Well, what went down to make, when you look at all the goods and all the sectors, what went down to help inflation cool down a little bit? Something in particular you could think of?
Oh, absolutely. It comes down to energy, right? Because as we see gas prices coming down, those fuel costs go into everything. Anything that's going from point A to point B requires energy. And because our fuel costs are coming down because of let's go down the path of drill, baby, drill, which is a process for that to get up and running. That's really been the key to offset what would be the increases related to tariffs.
Well, you said that so well. This could be an hour show. If you were president, what would you do? Because I'm not sure it's fixable.
Well, if I was president, the first thing I'd do is resign because I don't want the job. But if you forced me to take it, look, I think the key to everything revolves around energy. That's what it's all about. So as long as we can keep fuel costs down and under control, which means we need more domestic production, which we're certainly capable of, that combined with cutting back on spending, you could actually close this gap without taxing your way out of it. And that's really my biggest fear is at some point, we're just going to have taxes going up, up, and up, and we keep spending. And to me, that's a no-win formula.
It sounds like the city of Chicago you just described there. Hey, Dan, I'm getting older, but I think the first president I ever voted for was during the Clinton era. What did Bill Clinton do that we didn't have this big deficit back then? Do you remember?
Well, you know, when you go back to Clinton, remember that was really the first tech bubble, right? Because everything was about .com. So you had a lot of really great things happening in the economy. Bill Clinton actually did a few good things, right? He also implemented workfare. So he was trying to get people off of welfare. And mind you, a lot of those concepts came out of what? A Republican Congress. And they worked together and they were pretty effective at getting some really positive fiscal policies in place. Now, since that point in time, everybody's kind of gone to their corner and no one wants to cross over. So it really becomes gridlock in Washington, and nothing gets done.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I enjoy learning about it, but I don't have an answer for it, and I don't know that anyone really does. Well, should the number, real quick before we go, I keep seeing it go up. 37 trillion, maybe 38. Should that scare people, or is it okay?
Yes.
Can we inflate our way out of it?
Let me tell you, that should scare the daylights out of everyone, and nobody pays attention to it. And I have been asked over and over, well, when do we get to the point where this whole thing blows up? First, it was 20 trillion, 30. Now we're encroaching 40. Is it 50? Is it 100 trillion? No one knows. We've never gotten to that point. But let me just say this. At any point in time, if the United States should default on its debt,
yes, sir,
payments for any reason, it's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Like this segment. Dan Geltrude, I love you, brother. Thank you. You did a wonderful job on that. Now let's take a look at these here equity markets.